Okay, take a road trip across the country and indulge your sweet tooth without ever leaving home. Here with a look at his iconic new cookbook, Baking Across America, we welcome B. Dylan Hollis. Dylan, great to see you.
It's a pleasure.
Your cookbook is so beautiful. So explain to me how you did it. So you had this idea, and first of all, you love vintage cookbooks, right?
I love it, and that's how it started. I would collect these old cookbooks, vintage cookbooks, and I would bake through them online.
Yeah.
And then the comments I would get is, I remember when my mom used to make this,
right.
my aunt used to make this, but then I would bake a recipe that was a favorite in a particular state, and the comments were so different. People say, this is the pride of my state, my city, you've done us proud. And I said, that's interesting. So instead of baking through the years, why don't we bake coast to coast?
Oh, so you actually drove from city to city and tried out all these different recipes.
A whole summer of baking.
How'd you pick which recipe, though?
Well, you know, say I had 20 cookbooks laid out from Oregon.
Yeah.
And then as I go through them, if half of each book was dedicated to, say, the Bing cherry,
right.
that's a fine inclination that Oregonians love
their cherries. Right, true.
And, you know, stories like that, and then some were easy. You think of Florida, like the key lime pie.
Of course.
Goes to show Boston cream pie.
Right.
So it's a whole swath of ideas.
Okay. All right, let's show our audience some of the recipes you made and that you love that you put in the book, the Nanaimo bars.
Yes, this is actually the shining star of British Columbian bakery. Of course, it was invented on Vancouver Island up there in British Columbia, the city of Nanaimo, but they've become beloved in Seattle and Washington and even far south as here, and they're phenomenal. They're phenomenal. They're a chocolate graham cracker crust, a pudding center, and then a chocolate ganache.
Oh,
they're so Moorish. One of my favorites currently are.
And what's the story behind it?
Well, it was actually invented in 1952 by the Women's Auxiliary to the Nanaimo General Hospital. So you know those old community cookbooks?
Right, oh right.
Put together by the Women's Auxiliary of that hospital, and the hospital, it used to stand, it doesn't stand in the same location anymore, but the auxiliary still remains.
Oh wow. Okay, then we have, see
they're hungry, that's how you know it's good.
The flies are here now because they know it's good. Okay, this looks wonderful. What is this and which state is this from?
This is from the state of Washington. This is Seattle coffee creams. Around the 1980s, 1990s, the second and third wave of coffee sort of fanaticism up in Washington. So this is a spiced cardamom, coffee-infused sandwich cookie. They're like oatmeal creams, but just coffee and so good. I don't know. I have it with a morning cup.
What, so you enjoy that one too?
Oh, yes.
Yeah, okay, so what's the story behind that?
This just comes from the general love of coffee.
Okay.
You know, so I try and hit history, then I try and hit sort of, you know, on the surface culture. But it is true that, you know, watching it, a lot of folks up here love their coffee too.
Oh, yeah. May I try this one?
Please do.
Yeah. You don't mind.
No, by all means, and you'll notice a bit of spice to them. There's
oh wow,
cardamom and coffee, a match made in heaven.
Wow, that's really good.
And it's a soft buttercream filling. I love I love a creamy, sort of sweet filling, but I don't like it to be too sweet, you know, because I exist on desserts.
I don't know how you do this. How do you do this? But
my metabolism. I'm told when I'm 40, it's all down.
Yeah, yeah. Wait, wait.
I'm enjoying it.
And then when you're in 60s, just hang loose. Okay, this is so good. Oh my gosh. Okay, and then the Bing cherry that you mentioned.
Yes.
Tell me about that.
These are Bing bars. And of course, the Bing cherry is grown throughout the Pacific Northwest. But what many don't know is that the Bing cherry itself was bred in Oregon, in Clackamas County,
Look at you saying Clackamas County. I'm proud of you.
In the 1870s.
Yeah.
Named after a foreman on the sort of cherry orchards named Bing. He was a Manchurian foreman.
Really?
Yes. And
so do we have like oatmeal in here?
Yes, we do. They're an oatmeal, brown sugar, wonderful bar. They're similar makeup to like date bars. Aren't they marvelous?
Oh, wow.
And this is particularly well suited to be a breakfast good. So the Bing cherry being a breed between the Republican cherry, which is a black cherry, and then a Napoleon cherry, which is a lighter cherry.
Wow. What did you learn from your travels? First of all, this is excellent.
I'm glad you like it.
Oh, love it. What did you learn from all your travels?
I learned that the United States is a country of varied enthusiasms and of varied tastes.
You sound like you're being very political. Varied enthusiasms. Okay, come on now. Talk to me real, Dylan. Tell me the truth.
Down in the South, tonnages of butter. They like deep frying their hush puppies. They're like their
who doesn't?
I know.
Okay.
But then you come up here to the Pacific Northwest, a land of coffee and seasonality. So you really like your fresh fruits, your cherries. You go through a farmer's market or see produce bins, especially now in the start of summer.
Right.
So you see things with cherries, fruits, coffees. And then, of course, there's a general love throughout of chocolate.
Yes.
And then, of course, on the east, things get older because that's, settled west from the younger days. So you have things like Boston cream pies and things that seem like, they've come from Britain, because in many ways they have. So you've got this east to east, east to west rather journey, and it's phenomenal.
Was there ever a time you got a recipe, and I saw a couple in there that did remind me of like a buffet from back in the day with some Jell-O involved, and I thought, really? How did this go?
I did, and I even included a recipe. It was for the state of New York. In New York City, there's the old Waldorf Astoria Hotel.
Yeah.
And are you familiar with the Waldorf salad? Of course. Well, of course, like you said, in the 50s, they liked to encase things in gelatin. So for a New York recipe, there's the Waldorf Anstase, which literally translates to the Waldorf in stasis. Sort of like Walt Disney's head.
In the Jell-O.
Oh, yes.
In the Jell-O.
So just like you say, it's in the buffet, it's towering, it's jiggly, and you slice it perfectly to slab-sided glory. I like it. I don't know if I should, but...
But you liked it.
I do.
Okay. Wow, that's amazing. And I have to say again, the book is incredible. Great pictures, and it shows your travels throughout. Did you have any experiences where you said, oh, time to go?
No.
No, you loved it all.
I loved it all. And Pacific Northwest folks around here are so friendly. You can talk to people on the street, talk to them about whether or not...
Oh, you can talk to people on the street for sure.
Well, they give you sort of their own opinions.
Right.
So, my mama used to make these differently, but they still give you a thumbs up.
I love it.
And then down in the South, I was in Butler, Georgia, in the middle of nowhere, and I was recognized, and I tried my okra for the first time there. It was such a great time.
Yeah, awesome. Well, you have a book event. It's tonight at 6 o'clock at Powell's Cedar Hills Crossing. And that's in Beaverton. We'll put all the information for you on our website at katu.com. Again, it's Baking Across America. Dylan Hollis, great job. And these were so yummy. So no one gets mine. This is mine right here. All right, thank you so much.
Pleasure.
All right, we'll be right back with more AM Northwest. Don't go away.